going to talk about the tools a little more depth for each one of those ones on that one page. And Judy's going to start with the tree protection, and then I'm going to talk about a couple, and we'll just go on from there.
Great, thanks, Nancy. We talk about tree protection bylaws, but I actually want to make a point that it's not just bylaws, it's really tree protection, because the regional districts don't have the ability through the Local Government Act to actually do tree protection bylaws, the municipalities do. And right now, Comox and Courtney both have tree protection bylaws. I know Courtney, Nancy's just working on upgrading their bylaw. Cumberland's got a first draft. We've just taken it to first reading of the tree protection bylaw. And of course, the regional district does it through their environmental DPs. So
Comox is taking it to the next level of a whole urban tree.
They've actually done a tree management plan for all of the town of Comox. So why a tree protection bylaw? And trees are providing multiple services that aren't considered in infrastructure costs. Trees were often just considered an aesthetic value and not really anything else. And only recently we've started to actually account for the economic value of these benefits. There's considerable literature now, and that's what Kim was talking about the sustainable asset management. So by calculating the value of the services provided by trees, local governments can build a strong financial case for protecting, preserving, and replanting these trees. And Nancy reminded me of a story I mentioned when I was working at the regional district, and there was a development on York Road, and the developer said there was alders all over the whole property. It was well treed, very odd soils, water moved through it in a very interesting way. And he said, well, he couldn't really figure out what was happening with the water until he took all the trees off. So he cleared it all, and he really knew what the water was doing then. There was a lot of flooding and erosion after that. But he said, no, you can't see it till you get the trees off, and then you can tell. So what infrastructure services do trees offer? Here's just a few statistics. 5% tree cover increase gives you a 2% reduction in rainwater runoff. Tree shade reduces summer surface temperature and adds 10 to 25 years of life to asphalt pavement. Now, if that doesn't matter to municipal engineers, I don't know what does, because those are expensive. Roadways are expensive to repair. Forests can infiltrate 31 centimeters per hour of rainwater versus lawns only infiltrate about a third of that. And pavement, of course, none. It's all running off. And one deciduous tree can intercept 2.5 cubic meters of water, and a mature evergreen can intercept 15 cubic meters of water per year. And just like pipes in the ground, trees do take maintenance. So we can't just walk away from nature. But the cost is significantly less than the hard infrastructure costs. And again, trees can do this, as Kim was talking about, that most of our rain is in that 75% light rainfall. Trees are managing that. Often trees they get intercepted by the leaves and needles of conifers, and it doesn't even reach the ground. It's being transpired back. And the added benefit of this, the cost significance of over a long term with hard infrastructure, if you think about it, pipes last about 25 years. And I know Cumberland's working on the 100-year. Pipe's going to last over 100 years. That's what we're working on. And I know Comox is actually pushing 40 for some of their pipes. We're trying that. But the design of pipes aren't to last more than 25 years. And that's a pretty short cycle to be able to, for the taxpayer to have to go back in and pay for those. So trees last an average of 120 years. So versus 25 years. And in the Pacific Northwest, we have conifers regularly lasting 200 to 300 years. And that starts to look like a pretty good payoff rather than the pipes. And I was just thinking earlier this morning about the pipes. It's not just the cost to put them in the ground, but you're digging out all that material and it's all going to the landfill. So now you're adding another cost of what, all that plastic, where's that going? And further measured benefits of trees, these are the standard ones that most people think about: providing oxygen, filtering air pollution. Trees can take out nitrous oxide, sulfur dioxide, and ozone. Mature trees remove about 70% of pollutants over, say, a young tree. And trees properly placed around buildings, all of you know this, reduce need for air conditioning by 30% and can reduce energy needs for heating by 30 to 50%. They also prevent erosion, and it provides wildlife habitat as well. And I wanted to think, although I'm a graphics person, I can't believe I'm going to tell you what a cartoon said. I couldn't find the cartoon. I used to have it at university. And it was a picture of like a bureaucrat talking to two fellows in ties, obviously the consultants. And the planner's saying, we gave you $65,000 and you told us trees are nice? And I often think that's, I mean, it would be $165,000 now to get a report like that, but still, that's what people were thinking of, is that trees were just nice and didn't have all these assets. So trees need to have the same status as other essential infrastructure, and I think other people have said that today, considered just as important as utility, roads, and drainage. And tree protection bylaws are just one tool to provide that protection for our big working trees. And while newly planted trees are beneficial, the real workhorses are that mature trees and that next generation. And I can quote this because as a planner, this was at an actual public meeting. A planner once responded to a query from a citizen as to why the young trees weren't being saved in a proposed development. But they're too small to save, said the planner. To which the citizen replied, and how do you think we get big trees? I'll turn it back to Nancy to talk about topsoil.